So having chosen some of my favourite herbs, I'm now going to take you through some of their characteristics, how to store them, how to prepare them, just so that you can get the most out of the herbs. What I tend to do is when I bring the herbs home is wash them and then wrap them in a damp cloth. Just pop them in the fridge, and that way they'll keep fresh for a lot longer. So starting with the coriander, it is very delicate, so you don't really want to overwork it. It tends to bruise and blacken. So either you can just shred it, pick bits of the leaves off with your fingers, or run a knife through it. Now I tend to use the stalks because I think a lot of the flavour's in the stalks. And just using a very sharp knife, just run through the coriander just once. As I said, if you go back and forth through the herb, it tends to bruise, and you'll get the discoloured herbs, which you don't really want in your dish. So having done that, what I'll do is if I'm not going to use the coriander immediately, I'll pop it on a plate and just put a damp cloth over it. That way it keeps it fresh for longer and keeps that lovely, vibrant green colour. Now looking at the thyme, if you're using them in sauces or stews or casseroles, you can actually get a good sort of bunch of it, stick it straight in, fish it out at the end, and it'll impart that wonderful flavour through the dish. Similarly, if you're roasting a chicken and you want to add another sort of dimension of flavour, just pop a good handful of the thyme either under the bird, in the cavity, and just take it out at the end. Or, if you are putting it through sauces, you can actually pick the leaves off. So just running your fingers through the herb, you actually get these tiny little leaves, which actually look very pretty as well through the dish. Now this will actually keep for a while. You don't have to worry about thyme drying out. Even when it's dry, that flavour is still there. In fact, the flavour will intensify. So this will keep for ages in the fridge. And finally, the parsley. As with the coriander, nice and fresh, but you can actually be a bit more ruthless with it. You can run the knife through it, chop it very, very finely. It won't bruise. So we'll just take some off. And the easiest way is to just use the knife, just run it back and forth through the parsley. And it's entirely up to you how large or small you want it. I kind of like getting those little explosions of flavour, so I'll tend to chop it quite roughly. But again, if you are putting it through a white sauce, you can chop it much more finely. And again, as with the coriander, pop it on the plate under a damp cloth, and that's going to keep it fresh for a lot longer. So, hopefully that helped, and good luck cooking with herbs.